We now bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Sonu Sood, anchor.
In his 107th episode of Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid homage to the people who lost their lives in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and said India is now quelling terror with full ardour. On this and several other important aspects that Prime Minister spoke about in his Mann Ki Baat, Ashokji, we'd like to know from you that today is the 107th episode of Mann Ki Baat, and the Prime Minister first of all paid homage to the people who lost their lives in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and also spoke about it being the Constitution Day. Can you tell us about the importance of these two aspects?
PM said that how can we forget this day, 26th of November, because it was on this very day that the country had come on terrorist attack, and now we are fighting terrorism in all its manifestations, and we are not allowing terrorism to succeed. And he also paid homage to all those who lost their lives. So the country is in remembrance of those brave hearts who made the supreme sacrifice during this attack. Then, of course, the 26th November also is significant because it's a Constitution Day. In fact, if we remember 2015, we were celebrating 125th birth anniversary of Babasaheb Ambedkar. Prime Minister Modi had in fact announced that henceforth 26th of November would be celebrated as Constitution Day every year, because we just can't remember once and then forget about all these things which strengthen our democracy. So why not celebrate the Constitution Day every year? And that is why today he extended his best wishes to all countrymen on the occasion of Constitution Day and said, together we shall certainly attain the resolve of a developed India. And so therefore, he also reminded all countrymen about their duties. So if we elaborate about the Constitution, what he discussed, he specifically mentioned the women empowerment issue and recalled that among the 15 women who were part of the Constituent Assembly, he specifically mentioned Hansa Mehta ji, who had raised her voice for the sake of rights and justice to women. And so that was one of the reasons why the forefathers of our Constitution granted voting right to all women, which was not common in all democracies in the world at that time. And now, starting with voting rights for women, we have recently enacted the Nari Shakti Vandan Act. And this is further emancipation and women empowerment, because under this act, women will get their participation in the democracy of India through greater participation. And the Prime Minister said that this is an example of our Sankalpa Shakti, the strength of the resolve of our democracy. And this will certainly provide a fillip to the pace of accomplishing our resolve of a developed India. So these two issues were the major takeaways from today's Mann Ki Baat episode.
Sir, if we talk about a developed India, the Prime Minister also spoke about the campaign of Vocal for Local, how that strengthens the economy of the entire country and is a guarantee of employment and development. Can you tell us something little more about how Vocal for Local is a very potent vehicle and what is the expectation of the Prime Minister going forward?
Practically every episode of Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister never forgets to lay emphasis on vocal for local. And if you remember in the last episode of Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister has specifically talked about vocal for local because he knew that the festival season was coming. And therefore today he specifically talked about 4 lakh crore worth of business which was done during Diwali, Bhai Dooj and Chhat. And according to these statistics, tremendous amount of enthusiasm was seen among people, and particularly the youth and children. While buying things from the shop, they were checking whether it was made in India or not, and even online business also. People never forget to see whether the country of origin was India or not. So therefore, vocal for local has been a very important factor in the economic development of this country, because this will generate employment. And PM specifically mentioned this vocal for local in the context of another very important feature of economic growth, and that was payment through UPI. And he continuously, in fact, emphasizes on this. And therefore, what has happened now, if we look at the statistics, through the UPI or any digital media, people are now buying not through cash. So the success of the digital revolution in India has made this absolutely possible. In fact, he again appealed to the people that for 1 month, please don't buy anything cash. Use these platforms, and if you are doing it, do send me your pictures. And he said that it will help me and help the country also. So therefore, I think if we talk about the economic issues PM today mentioned, was another very significant thing which he mentioned was that the intelligence, idea and innovation. These are the hallmarks of Indian youth today. Continuous rise in their intellectual properties through the combination of a technology is important facet of progress in enhancing the capability of India. So therefore, all these things, the word intellectual property organization, that statistics that was revealed by the Prime Minister has said that it has never happened earlier. That even in the top 10 countries that are at the forefront of the filing patent, Indians are now marching ahead. More than 31% in patent applications were filed by Indians in 2022. So he congratulated the youth of India and also assured them that country is with you. Startup, all these things. And whatever the administrative and legal reforms the country has made, government has made today, youth are now engaged in innovation on a large scale with renewed energy. So I think that was also a very important take in today's Mann Ki Baat episode.
So he said that spirit of innovation is being promoted among the school children as well, and also that India's patents are getting 10 times more approvals compared to the figures of 10 years ago. And also, sir, on the vocal for local, he expanded its horizon a bit by talking about weddings, that how it will be very good if the weddings which are being held abroad can be held within the country and that business can go to the country. How do you see this?
This was rather not only important but surprising also that the Prime Minister did talk about the wedding, and that was in the context of vocal for local. Then he said nowadays it's becoming a fashion to organize weddings abroad. He said why? Why go abroad? Why not in our own country? And that will not only generate employment but it will also be an education for the younger generation. So that was also a very important thing which he mentioned. And I think it has gone down well with the people. And in future, people will also be very careful because some very rich people are doing it, and that is becoming a loss to India's economy. But as you said, the spirit of innovation is now being prompted among the school children as well. And he said that Atal Tinkering Lab, Atal Innovation Mission, incubation centers in college, Startup India campaign. So the result of such relentless efforts are in front of the countrymen, and this too is a direct example of India's youth power. So India, the innovative power, moving ahead forward, and with that we shall achieve the vision of a developed India. And that is why I say again and again, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan and Jai Anusandhan. We all know Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan was given by Lal Bahadur Shastri ji and Jai Vigyan by Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Now Prime Minister Modi has added Jai Anusandhan. That means emphasis on research and innovation.
And sir, as you said that vocal for local has been a very, very important flagship slogan for the government, and they have promoted it through various initiatives. The other equally important campaign which started right from this government coming to power is the Swachhata campaign. And Mr. Modi said that this campaign has also inspired people from different walks of life, especially the youth, for collective participation. How do you see this movement, how it has progressed in the last 9.5 years?
You have very rightly said. From the first episode, the Prime Minister has started laying emphasis on Swachhata Abhiyan, and he in fact quoted Mahatma Gandhi's campaign, because whatever you want to achieve, you have to make it a Jan Andolan, people's movement. And Swachhata Abhiyan was launched exclusively with this motive that it has to become a mass movement with the participation of all, because government agencies alone can't enforce all these things. And since then, every episode there has been an emphasis and reminder to the people about this Swachhata Abhiyan, and it has now changed people's mindset regarding cleanliness and public hygiene. And this initiative has become a symbol of national spirit, which has improved the lives of crores of countrymen. And this has also inspired from, inspiration has come from different walks of life, especially the youth, for collective participation. And in that context, he gave the example of the brave youth of Surat, Project Surat, he specifically mentioned. A team of dedicated youth, and they are working on it. And their aim is to make Surat a model city, and which becomes an excellent example of cleanliness and sustained development. And now, the Safai Sunday Abhiyan, which started, as now they are cleaning beaches, and later they were also involved in cleaning the banks of the Tapi River.
So another area which is very important in a country whose demographic dividend is considered its biggest strength, which is skill development. And that is another area, I think, which the government keeps reiterating on. And today he talked about two examples, one from Leh and one from Andhra Pradesh, about skilling being done at a local level. And he urged people to share such success stories. So can you tell us how important is this individual involvement of people in training people, in skilling people, and the involvement approach of the government through Mann Ki Baat, where they are encouraging people to do this and share their success stories and inspire more people?
PM said that the importance of skill development is now finding acceptance all over the world. Because when we teach someone a skill, we not only give the person that skill, we also provide a source of income also. And he came to know that an organization has been engaged in skill development work for the last 4 decades. He said, I felt very, very good. And you also mentioned that the institution is in Andhra Pradesh, and its name is Belajipuram Youth Club. It focuses on skill development, and this youth club has empowered around 7,000 women. That is very significant. And most of these women today are doing some work or the other on their own. And this organization has also helped the children trapped in child labor to get out of that vicious cycle by teaching them some skill or the other. So these teams are not only empowering women, so these clubs are also spreading awareness in every village regarding the cleanliness also. So it has helped in the construction of many toilets, and he congratulated and appreciated the people who are associated with this organization for skill development. And he said that such collective efforts are needed for skill development in every village of the country. So this was very significant thing, and he also gave the example of inspiring example of Ladakh. And the Pashmina shawl, Ladakhi Pashmina, is also being discussed a lot for some time now. And I remember we mentioned in some earlier episodes also that Ladakhi Pashmina is reaching the markets around the world under the name of Looms of Ladakh. And 450 women from 15 villages are involved in weaving them. They used to sell their products only to the tourists, but now in this era of digital India, the products made by them have started reaching different markets in the country and also the world. So this means that our local is now becoming global, and on account of that, the earnings of these women have also increased.
And also, of course, he touched upon the cultural aspect, also talked about Ministry of Culture organizing the Mela Moments contest, and talked about the rich heritage of various dance forms that India possesses. You feel that this is also a very important aspect of inspiring people?
All these issues have been mentioned in Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat from time to time, and he has been emphasizing the significance of the Melas also. Before we forget that Prime Minister also talked about the Prakash Parv of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and his message are relevant even today, and not only for India but the whole world, and they inspire us. So for the harmonious and dedication toward other, the cultural aspect of the Mela and other things, significance of this can never be undermined.
Ashokji, thank you so much for throwing light on various crucial aspects touched upon by the Prime Minister in his Mann Ki Baat today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Sonu Sood, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks @gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.